Hello everyone. In this video we're going to take the text of a Word document and convert it to pen strokes on the Supernote with automatic table of contents, styling for headers, bullet point lists, etc. Let's dive in this new feature of PySN. We have a new myfonts.note, a Supernote notebook where each page has an ASCII table for different fonts. Each page has a keyword describing the font's family that was traced. You can see that Calibri is for page 2, while Sego characters are on the first page, and the third page has the self keyword to designate my own style, the one I used on previous videos. Feel free to add more styles. I provided some PDF templates for you to trace other fonts. You're going to do a better job tracing these than me. I imported these in my style on the Supernote to load them as customized templates before tracing the letters, selecting all and pasting as a new page in myfonts.note. But don't forget to name your new pages using a keyword, because PySN will need that name in the settings for the font name parameter describing the font family to be used when converting text to pen strokes. By default, version 1.27 uses Calibri. Now quickly about the styling parameter. As we saw before, it takes a JSON value where page is for styling the page number of extracted text from PDF highlights. See the previous video about that feature. Now the new settings are about styling headers in docx and markdown files. You can see here that we are styling headers named H1 to H4. We are also styling two types of bullet points, L1, L2. Lastly, we have a style for bold, aka B1. Each style is a JSON. Let's go back to H1. Ord is the index on the ASCII table of the character being merged with the text font to create a style. In this case, it's that thin dark gray underline. You can see that H2 uses a dark gray background as in drawn by the character at location 171. Weight is the weight of the pen. Here 0.6 is thicker than the default 0.2 or 0.3 that I use to draw the fonts. TOC BG color is the background color to be used in the table of contents. Here 254 is the equivalent of clear. Note that there isn't many choices. I think it's either clear, light gray, dark gray, and black, but I haven't tested it. Indent is the indentation to the left. C return is for carriage return, the space after the header. Forget about size here. The plan is to change the height of the characters in a later version. And lastly, case will either put the text in lower or uppercase. As usual, let me delete all these customized settings so that we see the default settings that you're getting when downloading the code. Save and close. Okay, let me do some household cleaning here and get rid of everything ever created by PySN. Now our inputs for this demo are two Word docx files. The source text file on religion that I converted to Word and that I subsequently styled by adding header 1 and header 2 styles. Let me copy back these docx files on my computer because Microsoft Word has some limitations opening them directly from the Supernote. You now can see the header style and a lorem ipsum generated file with more headers, some bullet points, and random bold sections. By the way, PySN implemented the styling of imported markdown files, meaning that the docx file is first converted to a simple markdown equivalent before being imported. This, of course, means that you can convert a markdown file to pen strokes with style. Okay, enough chit-chat. Let's launch PySN. It's done. What did we get here? If you don't understand why there is a warning sign, you have to watch the first video on this series about pen strokes. Okay, let's open the file on religion, switch to landscape. You can see that the headers are styled and that they appear in the table of contents. Quick tip, if your goal is to simply copy some sections of the converted text, you don't need to add dots. Just select the text in landscape, okay? But I'm going to dot these because we want to compare later files with different fonts. So let me also rename this with a Calibri postfix. Same for the lorem ipsum file. I'm fast forwarding here. Let's compare side by side. The bold styling and bullet points list seem okay. All right, let's rename postfixing with Calibri. Now let's open user-settings.json in the notepad. We can see that the default values have been populated. Let's change font name to Sego. And let's rename the input files because PySN thinks that it's done with the original files. Okay, rerunning and opening. You can see the fonts and style difference. Let's rename the notebook. And let's do again the same for the lorem ipsum file. Another tip, you could imagine importing a document and resizing the original text to something ridiculously small to create space for your own note while keeping the text handy. Since these pen strokes are vector points, there is no loss of information, and you may restore the size to look at the original information when you need it. Okay, I rerun with self, my original handwriting done without a tracer. I will spare you the steps. But here is the output, and frankly, comparing to Sego and Calibri, I prefer my own style. I'm guessing that everybody will likely have a strong bias towards their own fonts. All right, friends, it's time to wrap up. As I said before, these are not true Supernote headers for now. You can't convert them to the native style, and they won't update if you move them to another page. But I am personally happy that they can be styled and that they are in the table of contents. If you have other ideas, like the one I got from a user about multi-page, multi-fonts ASCII tables with keywords, please don't hesitate to comment. If I have time, I'm thinking about embedding the imported text in the binary files using the format of the recognition tool, so that the Supernote doesn't have to do unnecessary work. In the meantime, happy writing.